So don't follow me up and down your market, or your little chop suey ass will be a target of the
When Ice Cube released this in 1991, the rap community hoped a song as controversial as this wouldn't ever see the light of day again. This song was Ice Cube's attempt to protest the death of Latasha Harlins, a 15-year-old African-American who was shot to death by a Korean store employee, Jadu. Jadu would end up getting only 5 years of probation, 400 hours of community service, and a restitution of $500. And many thought this sentence was too light for the crime. And Ice Cube was one of those people, and the song Black Korea was what he thought about it. Rap music and controversies are birds of a feather, and it's almost impossible to separate the two. And while we've heard some very controversial lyrics over the years, the ones in this video will have you wondering how these rappers convinced their labels to approve the release of these songs in the first place. There have been several rap songs about police brutality against African Americans, and NWA's 1998 hit remains one of the most popular till date.
Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Fuck!
However, in 1991, Ice-T, who we all like to see as a pioneer of conscious rap, took things a little too far. It's fine to talk about police brutality, but talking about killing the cops? That's a definite no-no. When Cop Killer hit the airwaves, the boys in blue felt threatened, and the vice president and president at the time, Dan Quayle and George H.W. Bush, had to publicly condemn the song. And Warner Brothers Music, the label behind Ice-T, also had their share of the blame for approving a song like that. Eventually, the rapper took the song off his album, but it remains one of the most controversial yet most important rap songs till date. A list of controversial lyrics without an appearance from Eminem? That's practically impossible. With his debut album, Eminem showed the rap community that he wasn't scared to say the dirtiest and most controversial lines. However, the Detroit rapper seemed to go a little bit above board on the Marshall Mathers LP in 2000 on this song, I'm Back.
I take 7 from stand them all in line. Add an AK-47, a revolver, a 9, a Mac 11 in and order to solve the problem of mine. And that's a whole school of bullies shot up all at one time.
Talking about shooting a school is controversial enough, but making references to the tragic Columbine High School shooting that happened only a few months earlier could be career-ending. And it's no surprise that the lyrics had to be censored for YouTube. M got in hot water for that line. His label had to censor the lyrics, but honestly, it did little to affect the career of the Detroit rapper. When we talk about alternative hip-hop music, only a few rap groups come close to Brand Nubian. In 1990, their debut album, One for All, achieved critical and commercial success, with songs like Slow Down reaching number 3 in the US Hot Rap Singles Chart.
You got a flash dollar to prove her, and when you do, she sucks it up like a Hoover.
But the album wasn't without controversies. The track Drop the Bomb caused a stir with the 5% Nation, and the music video for Wake Up was banned on MTV.
It's the duty of a civilized person who's a member of the 5% Nation is to teach civilization to what? The uncivilized.
Peace to the God. Peace, Allah. Hey, yo, there go that brother Grand Poobah.
After a fight between its members, Grand Poobah against Sadat X and Lord Jamar, Grand Poobah left the group to pursue his solo career. Then in 1992, the group, which now included DJ Sincere, released Punk's Jump Up to Get Beat Down, and it was an instant controversy for the group. This sounds harmless, right? That's because you missed out on the original lyrics, which read, "Though I can freak, fly, flow, fuck up a faggot, don't understand their ways, I ain't down with gays." Sadat's homophobic lyrics couldn't just be ignored, and it affected the success of the song, even further affecting the career of the rapper. Even though he eventually apologized for the lyrics, hip-hop heads had long enough moved on from him. In 1998, when this album dropped, fans had to pause at several points and say, did he really just say that? It was DMX's debut album, and he presented himself as a violent rapper. a rapper who described brutal killings and violent acts like they were nothing. However, one song on the album, X Is Coming, was so disturbing and controversial that several interest groups had to speak out against the rapper. But what exactly did he say?
Take her, and if you got a daughter older than 15, I'ma rape her. Take her on the living room floor, right there in front of you, then ask you seriously what you wanna do.
Here's the crazy thing about this song. Despite the controversy and twisted idea of that line, the lyrics would go uncensored, the debut album would sell 5 million units, and DMX would become a rap star. Tupac has got some very questionable and violent lyrics, especially on his diss track to the Notorious B.I.G. and Bad Boy Records.
You wanna fuck with us? You little young ass motherfuckers. Don't one of you niggas got sickle cell or something? You fucking with me, nigga. You fuck around, have a seizure or a heart attack. You better back the fuck up or you get smacked the fuck up.
On How Do You Want It, Tupac makes things a little more interesting. Way back in the early 90s, Dolores Tucker was one name every rapper hated to hear. Tucker was an activist and politician who wanted gangsta rap to no longer exist. She boycotted a number of rap albums and artists, doing everything she could to reduce the impact of these rappers. In fact, she even bought stock in record companies just so she could sit at executives' meetings and criticize these music moguls. And since Tupac was a core gangster rapper, he was always one of her targets. Eventually, in 1996, the rapper had had enough, and he called her out on his 1996 single.
Days, you's a motherfucker. Instead of trying to help a nigga, you destroy your brother. Worse than others, Bill Clinton, Mr. Bado.
As you must have guessed, the censored part of this clip contains the words Dolores Tucker. The activist was pissed, and after Tupac's unfortunate death, she filed a lawsuit of $10 million against his estate, saying the song slandered her name and emotionally abused her. But as you probably figured, this case was thrown out of the court and the song still enjoys airplay today. Biggie's first and major controversy happened on the Ready to Die promo cut, where he mentioned Patti LaBelle. Even though this landed him in trouble, it didn't stop the rapper from becoming a dirty lyricist. And for fans who don't know, the next one involves a pregnant woman and her baby. Before you let your imaginations run wild, here's what Biggie said.
Stripping, then I'm dipping up the block and I'm robbing bitches too. Up the herringbones and bamboos. I wouldn't give a fuck if you pin here. Give me the baby rings and the #1 mom pendant.
Come on, who steals jewelry from pregnant women who can't help themselves? It eventually got edited out by Diddy, who didn't want the album to be boycotted by anyone. Start of this video, we looked at a song that threatened to kill cops in 1992. But only a few hip-hop heads know that the year 1992 had another very controversial song. This time, it was a song that targeted the President of the United States. When Paris released Bush Killer, it instantly caused a huge stir across the country. The song placed a target on the back of President Bush and even threatened to physically harm him.
Yeah, so where's he at? I might wait for his motherfucking ass on a rooftop next door. Buck his dome cause I'm known to play for keeps. Lay low to the flow and keep it neat. And send his ass on belly up. Should've listened to the facts that the blacks been telling you. It's no surprise that a brother got wise. Now rat-a-tat-tat, it's an eye for an eye, how many?
You surely can't say something like this and get away with it, right? Well, Paris kinda did. At the time of the release, it was signed to Tommy Boy Records, a label that was also tied to Warner Brothers Records. Warner Brothers, after hearing the track, offered a 6-figure settlement to Paris to stop the release of the album. Interestingly, this album was planned to be released shortly after the 1992 presidential election. Paris rejected the offer from Warner Brothers Records and left the label to start his own, Scarface Records. Then he released the song and album through his own label. Talk about freedom of speech. Do you think some of these lyrics went too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you also think there are some more controversial lines from the 90s rap scene? Let's hear it.